Welcome back. And today on this beautiful Wednesday, we are going to talk about the war on the frontier. And so we're going to talk about the war of the frontier. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a longer slideshow, so it'll be a little bit of a longer video today, but I won't put any more questions. I'll put the same amount I've been doing on each slideshow, so you don't have to worry about that. So if you want to follow along and answer on the Google Forms as you go, that you can do that, or you can watch through the video until the very end and then answer on Google Forms. But right now, we're going to talk about the war on the frontier, which lasted from 1860 to 1875, so 15 years. List uses the Native Americans may have had for buffalo. So they had what the buffalo meant to the Native Americans. It equals survival. They used the stomach, the puttock, made into water bags. They would kill the buffalo and use their stomach to make water bags to store water, as you can see right there. They used their hoofs and bones became ornaments, cups, and utensils. They used the tendons and hair were made into bow strings, rope, and thread. As you can see there, they look like rubber bands. They used the dung was used as fuel for fires. So you could dry it, and then you could use it to start a fire. Buffalo became clothing, saddles, robes, and covers for teepees. You can see some pictures there. That's a quote that the Quawa chief said. You won't have to know about that. So we'll move on. So there's a history of conflict. So after the Civil War, the U.S. government sent troops to help end the Indian raids in 1867. Tribal leaders met with government officials to sign the Medicine Lodge Treaty. A treaty is a formal agreement between two nations. The treaty did not bring peace. Reservation policy. Quawas raided a wagon train at Salt Creek in the Salt Creek Massacre. This caused the Army to switch its policy. Instead of defending the frontier, the Army would now force all Indians into reservations. Fighting in Texas intensified. So this is about the time period when the Indians started to disappear. We're almost getting to the 1900s, and Indians are starting to thin out, and they're starting to there's still Indians out. In 2020, there's still Indians, but they're in their own reservations. There's just not as many. They have their own land, and they're supposed to stay on that own land, and so that's how that happens. And they follow all their Indian rules, so they don't follow any of the American laws, because they don't agree with Americans. So, for example, like if you're going to go, like spearing a fish, for example, is illegal for us Americans to do, but for them, it's illegal whenever they want to do it. So, here's some U.S. strategies, right there. Red River War, there. There's a pile of buffalo skulls. Had to kill a lot of buffalo then. They almost went extinct because they were killing so many of them. So here's the Frontier War. So it happened up here in Texas. So it happened right here in Texas and over here by El Paso too. So in like the mountainous areas. and desert areas too. Here's the Texas frontier. So this is all the little Indian reservations. There's actually not that many Indian reservations now. There is a very large Navajo Indian reservation over here in New Mexico and Arizona. There's still a bunch of them out there. So here's some different wars that happened. The Buffalo Soldiers, the Outlaws, stuff like that. And so, War on the Frontier, important people and events. So you got Santana. He was the sorry for the I didn't type that correctly. I'll have to fix that before I post it on Google Classroom. So yeah, that's some people. The Buffalo Hunters, the Quanah Parker, one of the most leaders. The Mother, right there. Chief, right there. He commanded Anglo troops for Battle of Edo Walls against the Comanches and Kiowas. The Buffalo Soldiers. I'm sorry that you can't see that down there. And a Quaker who was named the government's agent to the Kiowa. Yep. I think I'm going to stop there for today. We won't have to go through all this. I'll actually post the entire Google slide for you to look at. I will probably remove some of the slides, so there won't be as many. But I'll make it a little bit of a shorter, make it about the same amount of questions, about 10-15 questions like I did on the past few. And we'll make it like 30 since we went through like 20 slides today. But so remember to have all your questions submitted and turned in by 9 o'clock the next day. Otherwise, it'll be a missing assignment. And I will give you half credit if you turn in late, so you will still get credit for it. And so hopefully you have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you on Thursday.